Sophie Trudeau was once the glamorous First Lady of Canada, a figure who stood by Justin Trudeau's side with grace, strength, and undeniable charm. On the world stage, she embodied elegance, serving as the face of Canada with poise and distinction. But behind the carefully curated public image, a different story was unfolding, one that few were privy to. Now, after stepping away from the political spotlight, Sophie is carving out a life that no one could have anticipated. She's found peace in a quiet corner of Montreal, embraced a bold new direction in her career, and watched her children, Xavier, Ella Grace, and Hadrian, grow up quickly, each of them stepping into their own light in ways that may surprise you. Let's explore the journey of Sophie Trudeau and the path that led her to this new chapter of her life. Before she was known as the Prime Minister's wife, Sophie Trudeau was already carving out a name for herself. A television host, a passionate advocate for mental health, and a yoga instructor with a deep commitment to helping others heal, Sophie was a force in her own right. Born in Montreal, her childhood was complicated. Her parents divorced when she was young, and she often spoke of the emotional weight of familial expectations. In her early years, Sophie battled and overcame an eating disorder, a struggle that transformed her into an ardent supporter of mental wellness. But when she married Justin Trudeau in 2005, everything changed. Sophie was no longer just Sophie. She was thrust into the role of being the Prime Minister's wife, a symbol of perfection in the public eye. With the spotlight always on her, Sophie was expected to embody the perfect wife, the perfect mother, and the flawless face of Canada. Every gesture was scrutinized. The way she dressed, how she carried herself, her parenting, and even her body language. Her every move became the subject of endless analysis. Over time, the constant attention began to take its toll. Friends close to Sophie revealed that she increasingly felt trapped, yearning to live authentically and to speak her truth. After nearly 2 decades of marriage, Sophie made a decision that would shake the world. A decision to step away from the spotlight. In August 2023, Sophie and Justin announced their separation in a joint statement that was brief yet poignant. After many meaningful and difficult conversations, we have made the decision to separate, they said. There was no grand press conference, no lengthy interview, just that simple message followed by silence. Some speculated that Sophie had outgrown the role of political spouse, while others pointed to a long-standing emotional distance in their marriage. Whispers about hidden tensions filled the air, but Sophie chose not to engage. Instead, she quietly moved forward with grace and dignity. Sophie's next move shocked many. She didn't turn to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood or the royal circles of Europe. No, Sophie returned to Montreal, the city that had always been home, the place where her heart never truly left. It's reported that she settled into a peaceful, green neighborhood, a place where privacy and tranquility reign. She's been spotted at local markets, taking yoga classes and walking through the parks of Mount Royal, an image of peace, away from the political world she once knew. Sophie's focus now? Her family and her own well-being. Her presence on social media also shifted. Gone were the days of carefully curated political narratives. Instead, Sophie began sharing more personal and philosophical posts, reflections on healing, snapshots of her favorite books, and musings on womanhood after public life. In late 2023, Sophie released a deeply personal book titled Closer Together: Knowing Ourselves, Loving Each Other. The book delves into themes of healing, self-awareness, and the journey to wholeness after heartbreak. It quickly became a bestseller in Canada, but more than that, it resonated with readers on a deeply personal level. Sophie wasn't just writing about loss. She was writing about rebirth and the power of self-discovery. She appeared on several Canadian talk shows, sharing her journey with a newfound vulnerability, discussing the emotional toll of political life, and how she was reclaiming her identity beyond being a wife or public figure. But Sophie's reinvention doesn't stop there. Rumors swirl that she may soon be launching a podcast dedicated to mental health and women's empowerment. At 49, Sophie is not starting over. She's stepping into her power, more self-assured and self-aware than ever. While the Trudeau family has worked to shield their children from the public eye, their eldest son, Xavier, has recently begun drawing attention of his own. Born in 2007, Xavier is now 17 and quickly becoming a subject of public fascination. He's been seen playing guitar at charity events, attending youth forums, and passionately discussing social issues. Many say he has inherited his father's charisma and his mother's emotional depth. Tall and poised, Xavier bears a striking resemblance to both his parents. He's finishing high school now, with interests that span social justice, international relations, and music. Some even speculate that he could one day step into a leadership role. Not necessarily in politics, but perhaps as a cultural or humanitarian figure. It's clear he's already showing signs of thoughtful engagement with the world around him. Xavier is not the only child who is beginning to step into the spotlight. His younger sister, Ella Grace Margaret Trudeau, born in 2009, is now a teenager as well. Known for her grace, introspection, and privacy, Ella shares her mother's sensitivity and love for the arts. Sophie has often described her daughter as quietly powerful, someone who notices the small details and connects deeply with others. And then there's Hadrian, the youngest, born in 2014. At 11, Hadrian is known for his energy and playful spirit, bringing joy and lightness to Sophie's life. Though he's rarely seen in public, his presence is felt in the rare family photos where he can be spotted hugging his mother or running alongside his older siblings. Sophie has said that Hadrian constantly reminds her to stay present and to find wonder in the small, everyday moments. Though Sophie rarely posts about her children, it's clear that her role as a mother is at the core of who she is. She's often seen quietly attending school events, always opting for family time over public attention. Her bond with each of her children is evident, and that bond is perhaps her most meaningful legacy. Watching her children grow and carve out their own identities must be the most powerful affirmation of her new path. Despite everything, Sophie and Justin remain close. They continue to co-parent, spend holidays together, and support their children as a team, even if their personal lives have taken different directions. So, what comes next for Sophie Gregoire Trudeau? According to reports, she is building relationships with women's rights groups and planning initiatives to support mental health in schools. Her focus now is no longer fame, it's impact. She has become a sought-after speaker, appearing at wellness summits and leadership retreats across Canada. Her message is clear: it's never too late to start again, no matter the storms you've weathered. From the chaos of political life to the serenity of her Montreal home, from silence to best-selling books, from heartbreak to healing, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau's journey has been one of quiet power. Her growing influence in mental health circles is already being felt. Sophie has recently signed on to mentor a Canadian youth leadership initiative focused on resilience and emotional intelligence. Young people are drawn to her not because of her last name, but because of her lived experience and wisdom. Meanwhile, Xavier's own development continues to attract attention. Close friends describe him as introspective, creative, and increasingly aware of his public identity. It's rumored that he's considering university options in Europe, possibly in France or Switzerland, where he can study global policy and relative privacy. Sophie, always fiercely protective of her children, has allowed him to carve out his own path, proud of the balance he's striking between public visibility and personal reflection. As for Justin Trudeau, observers have noticed a shift in his demeanor since the separation. Some say he seems more subdued, less concerned with the public image he once cultivated. Others point out that he still speaks warmly of Sophie, occasionally expressing pride in her work. Despite the changes in their personal relationship, it's clear that Justin and Sophie remain united in their love for their children, and that shared respect may be the most enduring legacy of their marriage. Sophie's post-political chapter is still unfolding, but one thing is certain: she is no longer defined by her relationship to anyone else. She is defining herself, day by day, action by action. In a recent interview, when asked about the future, she smiled and simply said, "I'm not chasing anything, I'm arriving." Those words struck a chord with many. In a world that worships speed and success, Sophie is choosing to move with intention. She is walking, not running, speaking softly, not shouting. In doing so, she is embodying the quiet strength of women everywhere who decide to live life on their own terms. As more women step into leadership, advocacy, and personal healing, Sophie's journey stands as a shining example of courage, reinvention, and resilience. The little girl from Montreal, once feeling unseen, is now lighting the way for others. And the boy she raised, who is just beginning to emerge on the public stage, may carry the Trudeau name, but his path, much like his mother's, may be entirely his own. What do you think? Will Sophie become one of the most influential women in post-political Canada? And could her son be the next Trudeau that the world watches? If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Empire Elegance. and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories about the lives and legacies of the world's most influential figures. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.